Hello, I'm Jenny Hall for Trinity Stamps. Today I'd like to share my method for creating a really easy pop-up card. I'm using some items from the latest Trinity Stamps release, and here is the Rainbow Brights paper pad, the Wildflower Clippings dies, which I love, and some brand new A7 dies. These are modern embossed, like the other line of modern embossed dies from Trinity Stamps. They have a slightly beveled edge, and it makes it for a very elegant looking die cut. My card base is going to be A7, which is 5 inches by 7 inches once it's folded. So here's a look at the mechanism we're going to use to make the pop-up. You just pull out the fold after you have cut 2 lines in a folded piece of cardstock. Pull it out the opposite direction, secure this piece down inside the card, and that little area that pops up is actually going to hold whatever it is we put in front of it. So I'd like to put a big bouquet of flowers. So I'm going to use a little die cutting machine and use the Rainbow Brights paper pad to create on the polka dotted side. So I'm making the dies face the polka dot side. This is going to give me all of these gorgeous bright colors, and they're so summery and pretty. These are like the prettiest rainbow colors that I've seen in a long time. I absolutely love them. So I'm going to secure the dies down. This paper is a little bit slick. It's a really heavy weight for a patterned paper pad, and I just love working with them. So here is my card base, and I was thinking I would give it kind of a natural distressed look. So I'm using the Twiggy Brown Atelier ink from Ink on 3, which is available in the Trinity shop, along with a Trinity blending buddy. I have this brush dedicated only for browns. This is another new stamp set from the latest release, and it's called Encouragement Text. This is the first rubber stamp from Trinity Stamps, and I can tell you that it works really great. The detail that it puts off is just amazing. So this is going to look kind of like a little bit shabby chic, and I'm just putting the paper down and dabbing the ink in different directions. And it reminds me of like an old collage or an old like newspaper clippings. This reminds me of something that's very like modern day Victorian, the way the style is. So I'm taking that same ink and I'm covering the inside of the card. And you'll see why, because the inside is where all the action happens. So that rubber stamp sticks perfectly to my Tim Holtz glass mat. And I'll ink it up and then just use a paper towel. You can use a piece of printer paper and just put over it to give yourself some nice even pressure. And you don't even have to put this in the stamp positioner. It works perfectly. So whatever size you decide to use for your insert, just find the exact middle. Give it a nice little score and fold. And then I used scissors instead of a paper trimmer to do this part because it's just easier for me. But just make sure that you have the lines that you're cutting into the paper be the same. Otherwise, when you bend it the opposite direction, then one side's going to want to come out further than the other. So try to get those 2 lines even. Give it a good squeeze and really just fold it down there. And that's it. So all we have to do is secure it inside. So here's some more new products. This is the big and bold sentiments and then the supporting scripts. And basically what this is a really big giant stamp that has like some generic words and then a smaller scripty stamp set that goes with it, and you get to choose what you'd like it to say and pair together. Like this particular card is going to say just a note to say, and that's on the outside, and then a really big hello on the inside. And I'm sticking with that brown ink because it just it makes sense to make everything have that brown tone. So once we have our fold secured, then we're going to put the mechanism on the inside. and I'm careful to stay away from that area that's got the fold going in the opposite direction. So I'm just going to put some glue and help it, give it a little pressure. And there's our mechanism. It's in place. Very cool. Super, super simple. So I've got all these die cuts I created, and now I'm going to form the flowers. These flower dies are made in enough of a way to where you don't have to use them in any certain way. Like, for example, you don't have to use the center. There's a couple of different center options. You don't have to use the one that I used. You don't have to even make these two-tone flowers. You can make them just simple, really easy flowers. But I liked being able to mix the colors together. So whenever I'm adhering things to the pop-up area, and that's going to be the little L bracket here, I'm going to call it the pop-up area, then just be careful to not have any glue go outside of the little strip that we're attaching it to. Not to have anything hang on the outside of the card either, because you want it to be a complete surprise. So you can see here that I didn't get something down far enough, so I'm just removing it and squeezing it down a little further to where I didn't want any flowers to show on the outside of the card. Now I had the idea that I would use some clear window sheet acetate to attach some of the flowers so that I could make them extend even further than what the little area shows. And this turned out perfect because look how easy it is. Just cut a little strip of that window sheet and there we go. Now here's the last piece of greenery, and I wanted to make sure that it stayed inside the card. So I kind of closed it a little bit so that I could measure. I wanted it to be as high as I could, but without going outside of the card. Now I have some brand new rhinestones from Trinity Stamps. These are the Amber Glow, and I'm using the new Trinity pickup stick to pick them up. So this is a double-ended tool. One end has wax, the other end has more or less like a steel pokey type of tool, like a stiletto almost, and it is going to be perfect for helping paper come out of the dies whenever I need that. It's a good tool to have on hand, and I'm really excited to use this. A pickup stick works really good too, but I am really digging how well this tool works. So once I adhere some of those gems, then I'm going to kind of put them in the corner of one side of the mechanism, and then on the other, just to draw the eye out away from where the flowers are. And that's pretty much it. And this is really quick and easy to assemble, but I mean, look, you open up the card and boom, wow. So here's the outside. This is what it looks like when you're looking straight down. And this is what it looks like when you open it up and hold it straight to your face. I love this card, and I hope that you like it too. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching today, and we'll see you next time.